The Bureau of Labor Statistics report came out today, and it showed that jobs were 75,000 more than expected. Today was the day for jobs report, and we were expecting it to come in at around 200,000, and it came in much higher at 275,000, which is showing us that we have a strong labor force in the economy, but there's more to it than that, and we'll jump into it in a second. Today's mortgage rates are at about 7% for conventional loans and about 6.3 to 6.4 for government loans. Now, as I always point out, these rates are available for people who have higher than average credit, a lot of money down, like 25% or more, and they're based on an average, so not everybody will get these rates. If you're considering buying a home and you would like to see what your rate would be, go ahead and get in contact with me. There's a link in the description to all of my contact information. From there, I can look over your scenario because it's going to depend on credit score, it's going to depend on down payment and loan type. I can give you an idea of what your rate would look like, and I don't even have to pull your credit report. So as with most things in today's market, the BLS jobs report had a lot of mixed data, which makes it difficult to predict what's going on, but we'll break it down for you. So here's what we know. The jobs report came out higher than expected, but the average amount of hours lowered. It depends on who you listen to or who you talk to or what you're reading as far as this information. Some will call this a boom in the labor market, but some will call it a cooling in the labor market, and that all has to do with the unemployment data. And this is why unemployment numbers rose for the first time in a few months. And overall wages have increased, but they've increased slower than economists expected. So what does this mean for the housing market? Well, this means interest rates will stay flat for now. Fed Chair Jerome Powell was testifying before lawmakers this week, and he said, you know what, inflation has eased up a little bit, yet it hasn't eased to the target that we're looking for, and they're looking for a target of 2%. One key thing that he did say is that we're not far off, and when we see inflation start to come down, we can expect rate cuts will follow. Something to keep in mind if you're looking to purchase now or wait. Lower interest rates by themselves are not going to help the housing market. With spring approaching, we have a lot more inventory than we normally would have, but for the amount of buyers, it's still a low amount of inventory. So if you're able to purchase now, I would go ahead and do that even though we're in a higher rate environment because you're seeing the most inventory that you've seen in a while. Right now, we're experiencing something called the lock-in effect. This is where people who got interest rates at 2 and 3% are locked into their homes and are not willing to move out of those homes because they're going to get into a higher rate environment. That means they're going to have to spend more money to move. They may even want to move, but this effect keeps them locked in, which limits inventory. Here's another thing to consider. There are some buyers out there who have been looking for a very long time. They may have gotten discouraged in the past of not winning a bid, but they're still in the market and they're still looking around. When they hear that rates have lowered, they're going to flood back into the market. And this is going to create a frenzy for the available amount of homes. This is why in some markets, you're going to see homes go for over asking price. This type of environment will not help first-time homebuyers who are competing with someone who has moved from out of state. They may have sold their home in another state and have cash, or buyers who have been out of the market for a while and continue to save. Those two categories will be able to outbid their competition and put more money down. So it's important that even though we're in a higher rate environment, to figure out if you're ready to purchase and purchase as soon as you can. There was a report that came out on Zillow that said income needed to purchase a home was up 80% since 2020. So it's important to work on increasing your income as much as you can, cutting unnecessary spending so that way you can save for a down payment and closing cost. There's no doubt that it's tough to buy a home in this market, but with the right financial plan, it can be done. So overall, rates doing a little bit better at the end of the week. Let's see if this continues. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.